Hi, and thank you so much for joining us here tonight. I am here with Stacy Cook, and we are going to be talking about how to support your endocrine system. So your endocrine system is really just a nice name for all of your hormones. And Stacy is so much better about explaining what that all means. So I'm going to let her do the science about like what are hormones. And, as women, we normally associate our hormones with like certain stages of our life, right? Like puberty, pregnancy, menopause, but hormones are so much more than that. So we're really going to talk about what they are and how it's important regardless of what stage that you're in. So I'm going to throw it over to Stacy.
Thank you, Sherry. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So tonight you're going to hear a lot about different ways to support your hormones, and you're going to hear some personal stories too. I'm sure Sherry's going to throw in some of her experiences and me mine. But what's really important is, to understand your body and its needs. We want to understand a little bit about how it works. So a healthy endocrine system, and when we're talking about an endocrine system, we are talking about all of your hormones, all your hormone system. So when that system is healthy, we have healthy moods, skin, digestive system, and a whole lot more. So that endocrine system is comprised of all the glands in your body that produce hormones. So that's like the thyroid, the pancreas, the adrenals, all of those glands that produce a hormone. And the hormones are things like melatonin, serotonin, progesterone, testosterone, estrogen. Sometimes you'll hear people talk about their T3 and their T4. Those are your thyroid hormones. Even cortisol is a hormone. So, and those hormones, they're little chemical messengers in your body that regulate all sorts of different functions in your body, right? And everything from your metabolism to your growth, development, tissue function, sexual function, reproduction, sleep, mood, so many different things. And because those hormones are like little messengers sending information, when we have too much or too little and the body gets out of balance, we can see a cascade of issues. And those can be anything from migraines, insomnia, weakening of your bones, weight gain, hot flashes, mood swings, infertility, low libido. All sorts of issues can arise when we have that hormonal imbalance. And it can even affect the way that we handle stress. In fact, I feel like that is something that comes up a lot. And over time, if that hormonal imbalance isn't brought back into balance, that's when we see rapid aging and the increase in the risk of disease. So your body is constantly working on keeping things in balance. And many things can throw your balance out of whack. So it can be stress, could be poor diet, poor sleep habits, synthetic hormones, genetic factors, sedentary lifestyle. Those can all throw things out of whack and cause health problems for you. But I cannot stress enough that one of the first steps that you can take to ensure that your hormones remain balanced is to remove things like synthetic fragrances and toxic products that are packed with endocrine disrupting chemicals. Okay, that is like the easiest first step thing you can do. And then if you feel like your hormones, are still out of balance after you've done the job of removing all those chemicals, there are some things we can take to help maintain that balance. Young Living has some essential oils and other products to support your body in that delicate balancing act. So we're going to start with some of our favorite supplements that I think Sherry and I have both dug into over the years. And Sherry's going to share one of her favorites.
Yeah, thanks, Stacey. So there are a lot of different options. So we're going to talk about some of the ones that we've had experience with, or maybe some that we need to experience, and then give you our results from using them. But I wanted to let you know first, this book, it's called Taming the Dragon Within. This is an amazing book. It's an easy, quick read. You can get it on Amazon. You can see like it's not like crazy. Um, and I can type this in the chat when we're done, but it's called Taming the Dragon Within. I just looked it up. It's on Amazon. It's really great, that goes through different things that could be going on with you hormonally. And it's a really nice breakdown. So a great resource to have. But I wanted to talk about Thyromin. So this supplement I started taking about 2.5 years ago. And when I first saw it, I was like, well, I don't need that. I don't have a thyroid issue. However, the purpose of supporting your thyroid is so that you don't have an issue. And I didn't think of it that way. I was like, well, I have nothing wrong. I don't need it. But your thyroid actually helps regulate your metabolism, your energy, and your body temperature. I'm at that stage of life where my body temperature is not always the temperature I want it to be. I have my own personal summers during the day and at night. And when I heard that about Thyromin, I started taking it. It does help me personally with my night sweats. Now, they recommend that you take 1 capsule immediately before going to bed. That's how I do it. I've heard of some people doing it in the morning, but I find it works best for me. I take it when I'm taking my Life 9 at bedtime. So it controls your calorie burning. It can even control your heart rate. So it's about supporting your thyroid. And as with all of our supplements, it's really great because they are embedded with essential oils that help the bioavailability, meaning your body is going to absorb all of the goodness. So within this, it also has spearmint, which is great for your digestive and respiratory support. There's peppermint, there's myrtle, and myrrh. So there are a lot of great essential oils in here that help your body absorb the goodness of this product and reap the benefits. So this is something I've been taking every day for about 2.5 years, and I don't think I'll be stopping it anytime soon. And next up we have, nope, I'm out of order. Sorry. Let me, what? Am I missing a picture? I am. Sorry, Stacy. I think I lost your picture.
That's okay. We'll just talk about it.
Yes.
Fireman up there. So the next one I want to share with you guys, or we want to share with you guys, is Cortistop. So Cortistop, there's kind of a clue in the name, which Young Living does for us in most of their products. It's all about creating healthy balance for your stress hormone, which is cortisol, right? So cortisol is the hormone produced by your adrenal gland. It's in response to stress or low blood sugar. And we want a healthy amount of cortisol, but we don't want too much. What happens is a lot of people, we tend to begin living our lives in a constantly stressed state. So our body is constantly churning out that cortisol. And what happens is we feel the results of that in things like extra weight gain, fatigue, all sorts of issues can happen when we leave our body in that stressed state. So Cortistop helps create balance. It helps dial back some of that cortisol production. I've used Cortistop before and had really good results with it. It's not a supplement that you're going to use regularly. The recommendation is to complete the bottle as dosing is recommended, and then to stop for 2 to 4 weeks. And then if you find that you are not in like a continually stressed state, you're not feeling that, then obviously it's not something you need at that time. It's rather than like a maintenance type of supplement, it is more of a like in the moment supplement. Like you use it when you need it, but not continuously. It has some really great essential oils in it that support your body in some different ways. It has fennel, which is great for the circulatory system, respiratory system, digestive system. It also has peppermint, which is really good for, again, healthy digestion. It has clary sage, which we are going to talk a little bit more about later, but clary sage is a really, really great hormonal support essential oil. It has Canadian fleabane, which just recently became available to us in the US. And that is a really fantastic essential oil for both cardiovascular and hormonal system support. And then it has frankincense, which we all know is fantastic for the entire body. So that's cortisol. And again, we talk about, when we're talking about hormonal support, one of the best things you can do for yourself, if you feel like you have an imbalance but you don't know what it is go ahead and get your hormones tested. You can play like guessing games all day long and try this and try that and try this, and maybe you're going to have some good luck, but one of the easiest things to do is just go ahead and get a hormone panel. You can actually do those like by mail now, and know like what's off the charts, what's so high, what's low, and then you can kind of use the information you're learning now to see what is the best way you could naturally support your body through that. So I am going to toss it back to Sherry to talk about endogize.
So thank you. I'm sorry. I kept trying to find the picture for cortisol and I couldn't. So I'm sorry, friends. I'll add it back in there. So endogize, when I heard about this, I have to admit, I've never really read enough about it. And after getting everything ready for tonight, this is on my order for this month. But for me, when I heard the name, I was like, oh, well, it's just Endoflex. It's a little different. This is created just for women and it supports your entire endocrine system. So this supplement is a little different. It contains DHEA, which is the most common hormone in our body. Now, our body produces it naturally. However, after age 20, 20, I think we're all a little past that here on the call tonight. But our production of that naturally starts to decline. So this is super helpful for women as they age. And this hormone is really important because it's needed to produce over 50 other hormones, including estrogen. And if we think about all of the things we experience as women as we get older, I'm currently experiencing them myself. It's something that we need to have in our body to help just maintain those levels in our body. Now, when I'm talking about like what's common or not, just because something is common doesn't mean it's normal. It's common that women, as they hit a certain age, have hot flashes, night sweats, but that's not necessarily a normal. So we have it within our grasp to help support our bodies to reduce those things. So imbalanced hormones is not normal. It's really not. It's common, but it's not normal. So we can make that better. Now, what is really great about this is that it's very supportive of your adrenals. And Stacy was telling us a little bit about our adrenal glands. Now, they're located on the top of each kidney, and they help produce and regulate your blood sugar and blood pressure. They also help your body burn fat and use protein. They also release cortisol, which we just heard why we might need cortisol in our life. So when we are supporting all of these glands, you're supporting your overall cardiovascular health, your metabolism, weight management, and your body's ability to manage stress and maintain energy. Yes, please. That's all I can say about that. I'm like super excited because I don't know how this has never like been in my wheelhouse. We're going to talk about some of the oils that I use every day for years, but somehow this supplement has like gotten by me. And of course, like all the other ones, this includes essential oils as well, so our body absorbs it better. And it has clary sage, ginger, myrrh, cassia. Now, what's interesting with this, like the cortisol, is that they recommend you take one twice a day for 4 weeks and then stop for 2 weeks and then go back and start it up again. So it's like, give your body a chance to like regulate out after you've been helping support it, see how it goes. And then if need be, go ahead and do it for another 4 weeks again. This is something though, for pregnant or nursing moms, they would not want to be using this. They shouldn't need this at that time. It's more for those of us as we are aging to support our endocrine system. And now Stacy is going to talk about one that I know she's in love with right now.
I am. So Femigen. Femigen is fantastic. So it supports the female reproductive system and helps maintain balance during menopause, but it can be used by women through varying seasons of life. So it's not just for if you're entering this, new season. It can also be used by women who are in like childbearing, stages. It is formulated with herbs and amino acids that support female health. It contains wild yam, dong quai, black cohosh, damiana, um, blue cohosh. But what's common about all of these herbs is that they all contain phytoestrogens. So phytoestrogens are dietary estrogens that occur naturally in compounds found in plants. And these dietary estrogens help support our body's own estrogen, which is fantastic. If you find that you're entering a new season in life and you're like estrogen just fell off a cliff and your whole body went like, what the heck is this? I'm not ready. We are way out of balance. Um, so, so it's great. um, so estrogen, as we know, it brings about physical changes that occur during puberty. It helps control the menstrual cycle. It's important for childbearing. It actually also helps keep cholesterol under control and protects bone health for women and men. And it can affect your brain, mood, bones, heart, skin, other tissues, all of it. So, like I said, if no matter what stage of life you're in, if you found that all of a sudden your estrogen has plummeted, Femigen would be a really good option for you to try and see how it makes you feel. Personally, for me, within the last year, things have really changed. And I went to get my hormones tested from my doctor because I didn't know, are the changes I'm seeing typical? Is that what stage I'm really entering, or is something else going on? And she's looked at my hormones and she's like, yep, this is normal. So in the sense that your estrogen has plummeted and everything else is showing that you are, moving into menopause. And for reference, I'm 46. So it's not totally it's not abnormal for my age, but it was maybe earlier than I had anticipated. So anyway, I started experiencing some of those things that you may experience, like hot flashes, night sweats, moodiness, and not to say that I was never moody before, but that's another story. So I was trying different things, and Femigen I stumbled onto, and it made a world of difference. And just to share how these supplements really can bring balance back. I ran out of my Femigen like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but my body is still in balance. Like I have not had hot flashes come back. I'm still feeling really good. Now, I'm sure if I went for a long time without it, yeah, I might feel myself fall back out of balance. And when I just saw it come back in stock the other day, I did buy 3 bottles. But that's, it speaks to the power of what, feeding our bodies things that they may need can do and help sustain us on a long term, not just in like that moment. So anyway, Femigen it has clary sage, which has been used for centuries to help support the female body, particularly around hormones and reproductive function. It has sage, it has ylang ylang, which is great for the adrenal glands. That one you get for free this month. It also has fennel. So the suggested usage for Femigen is to take 2 capsules with breakfast and then 2 capsules with lunch. Now, I will say that I am all about self-experimentation and seeing what is right for you. So I started low with this one, and I just took 2 capsules in the morning to see how it made me feel. And I saw significant changes. So that's all I've been taking. So you can always, see for yourself, okay, do 2 capsules in the morning do nothing for me? Well, then I'm going to go with the recommended 2 in the morning and 2 at lunch and see what results I get with that. So I recommend doing that. It's just everybody is different. An oil, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this oil in a minute, but just keep it in the back of your mind. One of our vitality oils, sclerescence, is a really good complement to Femigen as well. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. But right now, Sherry is going to talk about Progessence Plus serum.
So Progessence Plus, I remember. So first of all, I want to say we're not suggesting that you start an experiment with all of these things all at the same time. Progessence Plus was actually the first thing that I used to try to help with my hormonal balancing. I probably started using this 5 years ago, easily. I had heard some people talking about it, And the way it was presented is if you're a female and you have gone through puberty, then you should use it. And I remember people saying, well, when do you stop? Do you stop? And they're like, no, you never stop. You use it until you die, because this is something that you're always going to need. So this is something that I have never stopped using. I use it every day. So we've been talking a lot about the estrogen side. So this one actually helps with progesterone, and it comes from yam. So it is that natural food source, like Stacy was talking about with the I forgot what were you just talking about? I've already lost what we were just talking about. The Femigen, thank you. So this has the food grade equivalent of progesterone in wild yams. So it's all natural for you. Now, it is a serum. You can actually put a little bit of this in your moisturizer to help your skin glow, but you can see mine, it's almost empty. Don't worry, I have another, but I keep a roller ball right on this. And I roll it directly on my forearms every morning. And since I've started hitting that almost at menopause stage, I actually put it on again at night. For many years, I only did it in the morning. As I see I need a little bit more support, I'm also using it at night. So this is great for mood swings. It's great for your skin. It's great for hormonal balance. And what's really cool is because this combines frankincense, essentially it's got sacred frank with that wild yam to create this something that's topical, that's easily absorbed into our body. Now, progesterone is a hormone that's always produced, but again, you need progesterone as you get older to maintain a healthy libido. The more that we age, we're going to have that decrease in progesterone. So using this is always going to be beneficial for that hormonal health. I love the smell of this. You can create it as a perfume, as a roll-on. Now, a lot of our products, and we're not talking about all of them tonight, but some of them, they say after a while, you need to rotate where you place it. That is not true of this one. If you like it on your forearms, you can put it on your forearms every morning. If you like it on the back of your neck, you can put it on the back of your neck every morning. It's really your comfort zone, but this is not something that you have to rotate the topical placement of over time. So wild yams are so cool because they're also said to help normalize your blood sugar levels, to combat weight gain. Maybe I need to drink more of this. Maybe I need to just drink it. It's supposed to help with hair loss. It helps reduce, this is important. I know so many of my friends suffer this. It reduces the occurrence of those hormonal based headaches. I wish I had known about this, and about young living when I was in my late 30s and early 40s, when I was getting terrible hormonal migraines. Obviously, it was all because of hormonal imbalance, but I didn't know any better back then. So these are the things that are so beneficial to help us. And this is just one that I will never, ever, ever be without. And this is a nice way to get started if you're not sure where to go with supporting your entire hormonal system. Start here and then move up into the supplements or the other oils that we're going to talk about, because this was honestly my first one and I've never stopped using it. Did you want to add anything on this, Stacy, or are you ready? Good for the next one?
You covered it.
All right.
I am also a Progestins Plus serum fan for sure.
Most women that I know that have been using oils for a long time, that's like kind of a staple. We don't even talk about it because it's like, oh yeah, we're women and we need this thing.
Definitely. So I want to share with you some complementary essential oils to the supplements that we've been talking about. There are three that kind of are the first ones that come to mind that we want to share about. And the first one, I always said, like, obviously a man named this oil because it's called Dragon Time. Like, come on, people. But anyway, whatever, kind of true. Sometimes for some women, that time of the month can be a very dragony time. So Dragon Time is aptly named just all about that. It's really about helping you balance your mood during that time in your cycle. So if you deal with occasional moodiness, this one is definitely for you. I also know a lot of moms who have found it is super, super helpful to use with teenage girls who are just having all of those hormonal changes start to happen. And we know that sometimes that can really impact their moods. So I know a lot of moms who use Dragon Time topically for their teenage girls. And it contains fennel, it contains clary sage, which we already know is one of those really great hormone support oils, sage, marjoram, lavender, blue yarrow, jasmine. So it smells, I think it smells really good. It's kind of sweet, a little herbaceous. It has those great balancing properties for supporting normal, healthy moods during the monthly cycle. For me, when I would use this, I would just feel like maybe like a week before my cycle would start that like I didn't like my family that much. And I was like, why do they do everything wrong? Why am I the only one who does anything right? And I would know like that's not a normal thought process. So I'd be like,
I don't
something's
know.
going on. So so I would pull out the Dragon Time, and I like to put a rollerball top on it, and I would just roll it on the insides of my ankles or like around my ankles. Your ankles have some pressure points related to your uterus, so it's like a good place to apply hormone female oils. So that's what I would like to do. I know some people like to put it on their abdomen or lower back, especially if they deal with like cramps and things like that, because it can also help with that. So that is Dragon Time. And then another one is, did I miss one here? No, Lady Sclera. Oh, clary sage. So clary sage. Clary sage we've talked about a couple times here. It's in a lot of the blends and supplements that we've talked about, and that is because it is so, so good for supporting our hormones. It is like the natural estrogen, right? Like it brings all of that to the party. So it's great for balancing moods and emotions. It's great for your skin. And it's also great for, libido. So if you want to like increase libido, you can use it topically, you can diffuse it, all good ways to use it. It's really good for that. And then the last one I want to share a little bit about is Lady Sclerol. So this one, now I actually have not been a big user of Lady Sclerol, but I know Sherry, you've used it, right? Do you want to talk about Lady Sclerol?
Yeah, so it's interesting because Dragon Time never really worked much for me. So I still have my first bottle sitting in my bedroom with a roller top on. Lady Sclerol is the one that kind of worked for me when I was feeling a little off, like mid cycle. I would roll this every day on my inner ankles, like right under my ankle bones. Again, as Stacy pointed out, that's the spot where you want to apply any of those like hormonal balancing oils. So I would kind of roll it on my inner ankles every day, and it would just kind of like level me out. And so again, it's going to be kind of that experimentation to see what works for you. Dragon Time was never really, maybe because I never felt that way, but it just never really did anything for me where Lady Sclerol did. So it's kind of like try one. If it's not really doing what you need it to do, Lady Sclerol is something I will still pop out every now and then. For me, it would work in a similar way that Dragon Time works for others. And clary sage, I still use every day. I have found it really good as I'm going through this phase. I actually have a roller ball on my clary sage as well. And in the morning, that's the one that I roll on the back of my neck every morning. I'm just doing a quick little swipe of clary sage, and I keep some in my purse. So if during the day I need some more, I can just roll it right back on as well.
Thank you, Sherry. You're up with Endoflex.
So there are also vitality oils that you can take. So we've talked supplements, we talked a few oils for topical use, and now we're going to talk about two that I love. So Endoflex, and when I talked about that Endogize, I was like, oh, well, it's the same thing as this. kind of, sort of, but a little bit better. Endoflex, you can see I've got my roller top on here. This is a new bottle because I just finished my last one a few weeks ago. Um, I put this on every single morning I put it on my thyroid. So I'm going to show you what I do, if we can see it here. I literally just roll it right here every morning. And then I take my hands and I kind of rub it into my thyroid here. And now with the oil that's on the back of my hands, I go down to my back. Sorry, you can't see this. And I rub it on my adrenals, which, remember, are at the top of our kidneys. So I will rub that oil right there so that I'm getting it to everywhere it needs to go. So this is really great for just supporting all of those things. I love the smell of it. It's got sage, spearmint, geranium, myrtle, nutmeg, and German chamomile. German chamomile alone, not so nice. But with all of those other things, it's got a really great smell. Now, there is also a vitality. So if you don't like the smell of this, or you know you need more of this support, you can take it internally. And remember, we've talked about this, that vitality bottle, it's the same thing in this bottle. So if you use it frequently, you can buy the large one and still use this internally, because I have done that a few times. But Endoflex, I have primarily used it topically. But now sclerosants, that's a different story. I forever think of Wendy, our good friend Wendy Chapman, when we talk about sclerosants. Now, here is my sclerosants. Now, notice this one does not have a roller top. It's got a dropper because I use this internally, even though it's not the vitality bottle. But Wendy has a roller, and she introduced me to this oil. Oh, had to have been what, 3 or 4 years ago at convention now. She always carries her homemade roller with her, and it's called Hot Mama. And I was like, oh, I need some of that because I'm always really hot. And all it is sclerosants with a carrier oil. That's all she puts in that roller. So this is really great for those flashes, for just all of the good things. It supports overall wellness. But when I saw her Hot Mama roller, I'm like, okay, I need to get some of that in my life. So I feel like most of the time, my temperature has regulated out pretty good. But there are certain days where, like, maybe like 1 week a month, I'm still getting some warm flashes, let's call them. So I will just pop this into a capsule that morning. It's not something I'm taking daily anymore, but when I need it, when I can feel that need for the support, I will put 1 or 2 drops in a capsule and take it internally. And then I have that roller as well. And that roller, I like to just put on my wrists. So this contains clary sage, which I'm already using, that Stacy talked about, peppermint, going to help cool you down, Spanish sage, and fennel. So this is also great to help support your digestion. It reduces some of the bloating that you might get during your cycle. And again, it's going to help balance your hormones. This is just the tip of the iceberg, ladies, with products you can use to support your endocrine system. But these are the most common ones. And so I'm going to encourage you to take your time and dive into these things. Use your reference guides or the book that's in the chat. And then Stacy is going to take it over.
Thank you, Sherry. Obviously, you all know that the best way to get anything from Young Living is on Subscribe to Save. So to be honest, there is literally zero reason anyone should place a shop order unless it is not available on Subscribe to Save, which is a very few handful of products, or you're redeeming points. Otherwise, you should order on Subscribe to Save, just because you have so much flexibility with it. You can do it for 1 month, every other month, every third month, whatever you need. There's no like being locked into anything, and you get those points back. And then when you get those points back, you can get your oils for free. You can get your supplements for free. You can get your Ninja Red for free. It's just a no-brainer. And I think that for a long time before the program changed, when it was Essential Rewards, people felt like it was really like locked you in and were hesitant to commit to it. But it is so flexible now that there's really no reason. Yes, Marla, unless like you run out of something and you need it ASAP because it just came back in stock. Yes. And you already processed your order for the month and you're like, I can't wait till next month. But otherwise, I really recommend you put everything on subscribe to save. It is just, it's how you stretch your budget. Just that's it. It's the most cost-effective way to do it. So that is my recommendation to you. And that is what we have for you tonight. Sherry, did you have anything else?
No, I just wanted to add that I like to use my points to try something new. So another great way to think about it, if you're like, oh, well, that's kind of expensive. And what if I don't like it? Or what if I find I'm not going to use it all the time? Then get it for free. That's what I do. I always like to like get some fresh new things. And then of course my Ningxia Red. I always get my Ningxia Red with my points because we go through a lot of it around here. But it's a great way to try a new product. And then you don't feel like you've lost anything because the points were a bonus and then you ordered it for free. So it's a fun way to do it. But did anybody here have any questions? I know there were some in the chat that Stacy was addressing, but was there anything else? I know we went a few minutes over. This was a lot. We tried to keep it to our 30 minutes. No? Okay, then.
So good to see you guys. Have a great night.
Bye,
Thanks, Rita.
everybody.
Bye.